gaming performance does $300 get you? All right, so here's what we got. We have a question, and I aim to answer that question. The question is, how much computer can $300 get you? To answer that question, I spent $300 of my own money to build a computer for $300. So we went through, found some new parts, found some used parts, and here is what we came up with. So for the motherboard, we have ourselves an ASRock H310CM HDV. In this box should be a CPU. I'm gonna have to go raid my stockpile of CPU coolers, because I'm pretty sure this was supposed to be shipped with a CPU cooler, and it was not. I can't remember though. This is an i5 8600. Yeah, exactly. i5 8600. Let's get that put in there. For our GPU. 1070? Nope, 1060. This was the 1060. We tried to get a 1070, but couldn't get one at the right price. For memory, we actually got new memory. So we didn't have to get like refurbished unit. This is actually a brand new Samsung memory module, which I thought was kind of crazy. But I mean, as you can see, there's like literally nothing to this thing. So 1A, might have to go in 1B, we'll find out. That is 16 gigs, if I remember right. So it's DDR4 2400T, 16 gigs. Yep. Oh yes, this is the 1066 gig specifically. And we have power supply, which this was also a new unit. It's incredible, like, what you can actually get for, like, next to no money. But you don't want to trust this as far as you can throw this. That's not coming off. Alright, there's that. There's... nope, wrong one. There's that. Another one. And then we have... oh, this power supply weighs like maybe a third of a pound, maybe. All right, and then as far as our storage, we have a Mushkin Element 256 gig SSD. This is a cheap boy. But we're not doing a lot of data transfers. This would be for more just like esport titles like League of Legends or like Rocket League or something similar. And all of that is to be built in a SAMA case, which the cheapest case you can get clunk. Yeah, yeah. Those are my two options with this. It's either going to work or I'm going to have a fire on my desk.
Where's the fire extinguisher?
All the way up front. Yeah, she's like, oh, I don't want to be here for this. All right, 3, 2, which one of these is my JFC header? It should be this guy, but that doesn't look right. Might have to actually look at the manual to determine. Here it is. All right, let's see what we got. If we get anything at all. Which this is kind of what I was afraid of with this. This was basically sold as is. This being the video card. But they said it was tested and working, so who actually knows? Let's see if we have video coming out of the motherboard. Does not appear to be so. Alright, now we got that in there. So it's elevated, it's off the deck. And I know it's actually plugged in all the way this time. See if we get something different. It's making an interesting sound. So the other thing is, what are the odds that... Let me find... I'll say, what are the odds that we have a situation where we have a compatibility issue with this CPU and this motherboard? The other problem is I'm getting nothing out of this. Let's switch this. Just in case. This is a tiny little motherboard. I could toss this into... I have a small form factor case that's just chilling here. I could toss this into. Yeah, I'm getting like no response out of this thing at all. Now, I'm curious if I do this, if I'm gonna get like a beep error. Yeah. Okay. So get a beep error. So we got that. Be annoying if this memory isn't compatible with this.
No, it's 2666.
So this just turned off. I did not do that. I think it just relearned. Yeah, just give me... Yeah, so that's all it was doing. It was relearning. Doesn't like this stick, though.
That's the only other one I have. It's 2666.
Let me try this. Alright, let's start slowly adding stuff back in. See if this has any effect. Well, that's strange. This Samsung memory is 2400T, and this one is 2400T. So in theory, it should have been... Yeah, so that worked as well. Try it again. Maybe we got a bad stick of memory. It does happen with these. Yeah, it does not like that whatsoever. But we'll try some things. Maybe it just requires like a BIOS update or something like that. It'd be nice. Try things in steps here. Okay, so we're still booting. We got 2 sticks in there, 2 8s instead of the 116. Let's toss this in here. See if we get video out. So odds are we got a bad stick of memory, but we can still do the tests and whatnot just because we still have 16 gigs and it's the same speed. Not sure why CL17 wasn't permitted. The one that I bought. Right, but I have a stick of T in there currently. All right, so this is working. So before we dive into this, this should go into the BIOS now. So we have the same amount of memory just on 2 sticks versus a single stick. Question is, how much is that going to affect this? Keep leading. All right, so CPU temperature seems a little suspect. Yes, they know. I know they always suck. But right now I'm concerned with it actually like being the wrong one for this board, which is definitely a possibility. But I just grabbed one from my back area. Seeing as I don't know where the one I ordered on Amazon was, or is. What's in there? Why? Like, this one does not want to go down. There we go. That's in there. That's in there. So yeah, this is the right one. Perfect. If I can actually make any like decent changes to this. try and overclock everything as much as we can. And see what kind of numbers we can get. This is going to be a low number. Yeah, for a $300 PC, we got almost 50 FPS. Yeah, you can't beat that. Woo! That's a new level. All right, let's let this chill for a little bit. And we're going to turn this off. And we're going to take this video card apart. All right, let's take a look at this. What happened here? This bad boy is toasty. All right, so let's crack some seals. So to open this up, we just need to remove the screws from this side, where there's a PCB, and we need to remember where they go. That's very important, seeing as they use different length screws here. And what we're going to do is we're going to reapply thermal paste. Missing one. Maybe. I do have liquid metal. I just don't have something to make a barrier. Plastic sheath should just kind of want to come off. In what game are you trying to play? Oh, missed one right there. You can see this has been opened before. Forza Horizon. Alright, so this is all we're actually looking to do on this. We are going to reapply just that thermal paste. So for now, this block is actually quite cold. You can see how dry and crusty this is. Grab. I have Forza Horizon 5. I haven't played it in a very long time. I'm gonna do that. Nice and clean. Apply. Water cool it, he says. Yeah, let me go get my CNC machine started up here, and we'll cut out a nice new billet of aluminum. Start all the way over and correct the problem that NVIDIA created that they didn't know they created. Where is my... There we go. Put a little bit on there. We're going to use the pressure of this plate to spread this out. We want to make sure we do have enough on there. And then, while we have this apart, come on. There we go. Let's get this blown out a little bit. That was actually a lot more dust than I expected to come out of there. Like, actually a lot more, not even trying to exaggerate. So this had actually, like, just a quick cleaning of this GPU. We should see... Alright, what are the numbers that we got? In TimeSpy, we got 3717. In Furmark, we got 3964. Cyberpunk, we got 49. My hope is to see 55 FPS just from thermal pasting and just cleaning this thing out. So here's what I'm gonna do. This is gonna be like a two-step thing. I'm putting these screws back on here for the actual block, and we're going to tighten these down all the way. Just like so. Now I'm going to unscrew. And then we're going to verify that we have decent spread. Yeah, look at that. So, looks like there's a couple spots that could use some actual thermal paste. Let's get it moved in. Don't want to have dry spots anywhere on this. It's very similar to what you would see with liquid metal. Like having dry spots on this means that there wasn't enough. So we're going to add just a little bit more to all the places that I saw were dry. I don't care if it squirts out the sides on this guy. All I care about is making good thermal contact all the way across the die. It's something that's lost a lot of its meaning. So we knew we're able to see where the dry spots were. We applied some additional thermal compound, and now that we've applied that additional thermal compound, let's get it put back together and go. All right. New thermal compound. Let's see how she'd do. See if we get any improvement in scores or if we get a decrease in scores. All right, here we go. Ooh, we're still at 44. Nine. Is it going to break 50? There it is. Ooh. This game looks incredible even on low. I love this game. We got 50. We broke 50. Here we go. Go. So we got 39.64 dirty. It's actually better. This fan hasn't cranked up to 100% yet. What the hell? It's climbing. It's still not as crazy as it was. So we've brought the temperatures down 6 degrees just by replacing the thermal paste and blowing this thing out. Look at that. Look, we actually got a discernible increase. 43.19. Max temp 93. So that's 6 degrees cooler. All right. We got 100 points in Time Spy. Actually, we got more than 100 points. We got 38.62. Very, very nice. Let's get this thing built inside of this case now. And we're going to run the same benchmarks. That we just ran on the $150 one. And we're going to see where everything shakes out. Okay. So we're building this in exactly the same case. On the video card or in your actual computer? There you go. Yeah. All right, hopefully should be relatively quick. And we can set this up and do benchmarks while I work on some... This thing just break? No, it did not. It did. One of the teeth just broke on this. Should be right here. And it just clicks right over it. Good job, Secret Lab. Good job. Okay. All right, let's get this installed. This is for the top. I started including a magnetic sheet with this case. That's cute. It wasn't on the other one. All right, screws. There they are. I'm not going to come out and say this thing is an amazing case. It's not. It's one of the cheapest cases that you can get. But what it does come with, which is actually pretty important, comes with 3 fans to help with cooling, and it comes with a space on the back to do some minor cable management, so all of your cables can stay out of the way. Get this guy. Don't forget, we gotta always, first and foremost, install your I/O shield. A lot of modern motherboards don't come with an I/O shield, so it's not necessarily something you need to worry about. But this one does. It does, because it is not a modern. Edges on this. So the other thing with this, before dive into this too much, is there's a cable coming off the back for the fan. Make sure that doesn't get stuck behind your I/O shield. That'll cause problems. All right, dedicated video card. So aggravating. All right. I hate tearing these things off. Alright, and then we just go ahead and slide it back into the bottom here. Make sure that your cable connectors are sticking out towards the front. Let's go ahead and get our power supply in, which I'm actually shocked at how good this power supply has been so far. Like, it hasn't been the absolute worst thing. Alright, cable management. So this is actually, we might do this a little bit different. Let's see here. How many fan headers do we have? We have one. We have one fan header. So we're not going to be using a fan header. We're going to use a Molex connector to handle all of the power for that. So this is going to go together, and then we'll cable manage this together. This is Molex and SATA. That's interesting. This is Molex and SATA. This is Molex and SATA. We're going to need this for this hard drive. This SSD. I'm going to take our single SATA cable. This is for the front panel connectors. These guys here, I'm going to go through there because they're not in the typical bottom of the case location. And we have HD audio, front USB, and then USB 3. Also all going to go through here, and then I'll pull them back. We have our 24-pin power, which is going to go there. We have our 8-pin power for the CPU, which goes up there. There we go. And then we have our video card power. Let's get this thing flipped. Get all these cables plugged in. So there, yeah. So you can see how much better that looks just by pulling this stuff back. And now that we have all this stuff back, we're gonna whip out my favorite friend, the zip tie. Alright. Yep, that should fit just fine. We just need to make sure that this little channel that's over here stays clear, because that's where the edge of this case goes. Goes like that. Goes like that. There we go. There we go. And there's our build. Let's get it all hooked up. Run some benchmarks, and then we'll move on. Anyways, I'm getting 130 FPS. All right. All right, so the real question for this build, now that this build is done, is how much performance does $300 on actual computer parts get you versus buying a $300 computer off of Amazon that you don't necessarily know what you're getting? So for $300, we put this together. It is a SAMA 88. It is a, that's the case, by the way. It is an Intel Core i5 8600. It has 16 gigs of DDR4 2400T. It's an ASRock H310C, a 550 watt APEVA power supply, a Mushkin 256 gig SSD, and a 1066 gig. All of that came in at $296 for all of this stuff. So here's the numbers that we got. In Cinebench Multi, we got, this is R23 numbers, we got 5,596 compared to the $300 computer that the previous person purchased from Amazon, got 4,479. That number is a huge fluke because it's a Xeon processor. The single core score was 1,121 points compared to 515 on the old one. The Time Spy score was 3,802 compared to 358, and the Firmark score was compared to. But Chris, you'll say that's not gaming. So we were able to play 77 on this on low settings, and we get 50 FPS at 1080p. That's great. I currently have Counter-Strike 2 running, 130 FPS. Can't beat it. So, in conclusion, if you're not sure about what you're buying, like, come to my channel, ask me. Find a computer store near you, ask them. Don't just buy stuff sight unseen, especially from Amazon. A lot of what you see sold on Amazon are repurposed either workstations that have fancy stickers on them, or they are parts bin specials, but like the cheapest of cheap part bin specials where they have components sitting around from actually 20 years ago that they're throwing in computers trying to sell. So just be aware of what you're getting out there. So on that note, I'm going to be giving this computer away. So I'm already giving away the $150 computer I built. I'm going to end up giving away this computer that I put together. This will be when I hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, this computer will be given away. And you can see, like, it can run Counter-Strike. Granted, over 60 FPS on one, but not the other. Still gonna be able to enjoy a relatively easy competitive experience. League, Counter-Strike, Rocket League, all of that. So, yeah, if you're interested, make sure you hit follow on the YouTubes, you like the video, you subscribe to the channel, and at some point, someone's going to get this computer from me. Hey, thanks for watching that video. If you liked that video, make sure you hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And I stream daily on Twitch at twitch.tv/SpecVengeance. And yeah, if you want to learn more about my services, check out Bradenton PC Repair.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.